So here I am downtown, feeling a little bit like a fish out of water in this urban setting, but it's a bit like Daniel was in Daniel's chapter 1 through 6. He'd been transported against his will, forcibly, from Jerusalem to hundreds of miles away in Babylon. And all historians and archaeologists and students of Daniel's Babylon agree in their description. They use 3 adjectives to describe the Babylon of that day: religious, urban, and elite. It was religious because of the nature of their gods. The god Marduk was not just represented in the enormous temple constructed by Nebuchadnezzar II. Marduk was that statue. And so the attendants of Marduk were very prestigious people in the community, and the Babylonians only got to view their god Marduk at special religious holidays. And the temple dominated the landscape, something like the big churches dominate here. Another descriptor they use of Babylon is urban. In Mesopotamia, the only place you really could live was in a city. It was a desert climate. True enough, the rivers were used to irrigate enormous fields of grain and fruit and to support herds and flocks and so on. On the other hand, it was a desert. It was wide open. There was no protection out there. And so you had to live in a city, and you had to come into the city's protection and live in that close place, rubbing shoulders with everybody else. The third adjective the archaeologists and historians use to describe the Babylon of Daniel's day is elite. You know, something like we have down here in downtown Syracuse. We have the old library right across that way, and this way we have the civic center and the theater, and we have the courthouse behind me. All the symbols of the high achieving, important, wealthy life. Right over there we have the biggest buildings in Syracuse, you know, and they're financial institutions. It's the elite down here, downtown, right? And the competition among the cities of Mesopotamia was fierce. It was violent. But when they conquered, their cities had libraries and performances and music, high culture, high architecture. And so this culture was very, very powerful, and Daniel was dropped into the middle of it. Could he be faithful to the Lord through all his lifetime as he was immersed in this culture? I have a scripture, if I could get over to where I left my Bible. I think it's somewhere here. Where did I leave my Bible? Uh-oh, it looks like somebody might have taken it. Well, they took the right thing, my Bible. Yes, it's true. Someone really did steal my Bible, one just like this, and not only that, but a microphone. Well, let's get on with it anyway. That was not planned. That was not a joke. It really happened. But let me read that scripture I had in mind. It's Romans 12:2. It says, "Do not conform to the pattern of this world." Archaeologists and historians agree that the culture of Babylon was incredibly stable. For 2,000 years before Daniel's time, it was the same. And even afterwards, during the reign of Darius and the Persians, and even during the reign of Alexander the Great, the culture in Babylon really did not change. And that's, I believe, because the culture there was a function of the place, not the ruler, not the people. The need for houses, temples, and protective walls created another challenge for the Mesopotamian cities like Babylon. There's very little rock available or stone available. Instead, the Babylonians learned how to make cities out of baked brick. The lack of stone and their turning to brick actually became a marvel of potential for the cities of Mesopotamia. The construction of Babylon, for instance, was not limited by the presence or the nearness of stone quarries. They could build anything with brick, any shape, any size they could imagine. So from Mesopotamia arose some of the biggest cities of the ancient world, like Nineveh, Ashur, and Babylon. It's thought that the Babylon in the lifetime of Daniel was the biggest city in the world. This was the Babylon that Daniel lived in.